All right, stocks posted solid gains in a shortened day of trading ahead of the July 4th holiday. What can we expect as the third quarter continues to unfold? Let's bring back John Manley, Wells Fargo Funds Chief Equity Strategist.
Well, good morning.
Good morning.
All right, let's talk about the markets. I mean, this little strange pricing thing aside with the NASDAQ and technology names overnight, but overall, it seems that tech has been the real story. Do you see pressure in technology, and do you think that that's actually going to put pressure on the overall markets?
No, I don't. I mean, I think technology is still kind of expensive, and anything that's expensive can always wobble around for a little bit, but I don't see a fundamental flaw, and ultimately fundamentals matter. I think what we're going to see over the course of this quarter is the market trying to find itself. I don't think it's going to find much bad about itself. I see valuations being somewhat high, but sort of the low end of high. I see the Fed being essentially accommodative, even though they may raise interest rates. And I look at what's going on with earnings, and they're still going up as far as I can tell. So it's not a bad environment. We may have to wait to the fourth quarter to see better numbers and prices, but third quarter should be okay.
But look at where. Let's just take the Dow, John, for instance. We're flirting with 21,500. I mean, we're ticking through these even number milestones so fast, faster than I think ever before. Check the history, of course. But I mean, if you were sitting on the sidelines at 19,000 going, maybe I'll wait for it to come in a little, and then it hit 20, and now 21,000, and now approaching 22,000, I mean, would you advise average investors to jump in at this point?
You know, I would, and I guess the reason there's a risk in risk aversion. In the sense that these people thought they were being safe, and to a degree they weren't taking any risk at that point in time except the risk that they would come in later on. Why do bull markets seem to go asymptotically upwards at the end? It's people capitulating. I say don't try and predict the future unless you have to. Look around, ask yourself if the environment's good. I think the environment's pretty good. Own stocks. If the environment changes, sell the stocks. But right now, I think we're in a good place for stocks.
Okay, so for the second half of the year, obviously it's going to depend on if the Trump administration can get its agenda at least further down the road. Tax reform, health care, the budget issue is going to be coming up. Do you think that any of that is a threat to the markets? And at what point do you say, okay, I'm going to take a little money off the table if things don't get passed in D.C.?
Well, I think what happened with earnings sort of predates Trump by about a month or two. I think it's just been 8 or 9 years since we've had the troubles, and the American population, the American economy is clawing its way back. I sort of view those things you mentioned as being potential upsides. I don't see them being negative. There's a great quote, always expect the worst, you'll never be disappointed. And I think that's where Americans are right now with politicians.
John Manley is with Wells Fargo. He's the Chief Equity Strategist there. Thank you so much for your insight.
Thank you.